All right. We hot?
Yep.
Well, here we are. Back in the Lakeside studio, Smith Lake, Alabama.
This time change, we don't get to look at it like we was getting to look at it.
My fishing light's out down there. I think it tripped on me.
I think our electrician done something wrong.
I know that guy was detailing my boat. He done something down there. I'm sure he was tripping breakers left and right. Them grinders
He was
and buffers or
overloading.
whatever it was. I hope it wasn't a grinder.
Yeah.
But anyway, you're live back, so no, it didn't get called out. Even though I hear there's a hurricane forming.
Yeah, I'm hoping the cooler air kind of kills that thing off. I'm
That's
kind
turkey
of
hunting money.
yeah, but I'll have an ice storm or something. We'll go with that. I mean, I only deer hunt 1 week a year now, so. But we finally have made something happen. We've been working on for, I don't know, a month or more.
More than that, September.
Yeah, I guess it's all.
We was talking tree stand safety month.
Yeah. But we've made it finally happen tonight. I mean, he's been on the road and he's been hunting, but we've got Joe Laseter from Hunter Safety Systems with us, and hopefully we're gonna get some good info on.
Probably the most famous man's ever sat down in here.
Might be Joe.
Woo!
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'll get you the autograph on them boards over here before you leave. Sign your name.
Let him sign the.
Oh yeah, you can sign the
I'll sign it real
the
little.
turkey wood over here. Eddie signed it, so
That's
you can come over here and sign it.
That's
so.
a famous man right there, boys.
Yeah.
He's a good man too. I tell
Very
you.
good man. I think a lot of Eddie.
I do too.
Have you ever been down there to that hunt he puts on that
No,
charity
I
hunt?
haven't.
I hadn't either. I told Anthony, I said, man,
We got
one of these
it.
days.
We're just
I
going to
wanna
do it
go.
next year.
And
We
he-
always try to sponsor. We'll send them some stuff down there.
Yeah,
I think.
yeah. Well, he, I had ran into him on my way to the hurricane. I called him. I said, hey, we stayed the night in Evergreen. I said, you want to get some breakfast? Of course, he said, well, let me get dressed. I'll meet you. And we had met at the Waffle House. It ain't every day you get to buy Eddie Salter breakfast.
That's
and
right.
them guys, I didn't tell him he was coming. And, man, he showed up. And them, Brandon Bartlett was like, man, I said, yeah, it's Eddie.
Eddie.
So they were getting to take some picture with him and stuff, so it was really cool. But he had kind of talked about maybe needing some help for that hunt. And me and Anthony, I said, well, hey, if you need us, call us. We'll come down, help take people to the woods, whatever we need to do, help drag deer out, whatever y'all need. And he had actually found enough help. We checked in with him. But one of these days, we are going to just go down there for that hunt, whether we go to help or maybe do something sponsor-wise or just go and be a part of it.
Yeah, just be part. Enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yep.
I just want to go down and get my hair cut.
We want to go to his barbershop. When we go, you
That
need to go with
that
us.
would be pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, he's still cutting hair.
He is.
I hit him up that day. I was like, man, if I had time, I'd get me a haircut. He said, well, you and Anthony just come on down. I said, well, if we do now, we're planning on staying for the day and getting you to work on some of them turkey calls. He said, well, we do whatever. Yeah, he don't care. But he loves dealing with people, and I mean, not everybody's got that. They don't.
He's done it a long time.
Yeah.
He's one of them.
That's
One
what I
of the- he's
told
one
him.
of the great ones.
It's so weird because as a young kid, I say kid,
Yeah.
teenager, early 20s, he was a legend back then. That was in the 80s. And I've said I go to these seminars and or whatever at the deer show.
I'm like, I got a couple of them turkey calls that he signed.
Oh yeah.
They're my pride and joy sitting up there on my shelf.
Yeah, I've got some shells. We killed some birds with him in Florida, and he signed
He didn't sign on mine.
to the Killers, Eddie Salter.
Oh,
did
he put an S on there? Then I'll take it.
Well, that's
You
the
need
one
to
I
put
was going
that
to hang
over
in
there.
there.
There you go. Yeah. Okay.
That's kind of the thought.
I'm gonna tell you, y'all got a good. If we could see this view, would be great right here. If it wasn't dark.
I should have went down there and turned my fish light back on. You could at least see down there then.
Yeah, I didn't know.
I know it's tripped off.
Is it? Do you have the
underwater
underwater
green
light?
monster? Yeah. So
I was trying to find out where this is because I know he's got crappie down there.
well, it's not the deepest of. It's better in the spring when they start bringing the water up. Even the stripe will come in here then. I've caught a couple 15, 20 pounders down. I'll go down there, catch a fish or get it. Most time it gets tangled up around that light. But I'll be hollering like a woman being raped for my wife come out and bring a camera. I've walked all the way up in the house with the fish. I've been hollering for you.
I know gun season is about to take off right here for us, but fishing is about to get good on Smith Lake.
See, I miss all of it. Same way, the spring is real good for the stripe. I like stripe fishing personally. That's one of the reasons I moved up here.
Yep.
But I'm turkey hunting.
But them turkey are gobbling on the lake.
I know.
That's where I'm on the other end. I like getting in the boat. I listen for gobblers to start with. If I don't hear a gobbler, then I'll start crappie fishing.
Well, that's an idea. You need to get a boat up on your end of the lake.
Crappie ain't biting, then I may bass fish.
Yeah.
We used to put in a Meek Houston and run back up through there, but you got to be careful when you get over in there because, see, I'm running back toward Donnie Joe's place. You got to be careful. But I tell you, we done the same thing. We'd heard some birds on forest land.
Yeah.
And we were going to heard them a couple of evenings. Boy, we just knew getting the boat Saturday morning, we'd get them. And we got rolling up through there. We ain't heard a bird. Well, I think, I just reached down, grabbed that fluke, and started throwing. I bet I caught 50 to 75 bass that morning.
Best day ever.
Yeah, I was with Adam, and Adam, he's still listening for a turkey. And I thought, buddy, they ain't gobbling. I'm at least going to keep, I didn't have no skin left on my finger. I
One of them
wore
good
them out.
days.
And they were just dinks, but I had a ball.
Yep.
I had a buddy. I've never caught a smallmouth. Go right up here, Pickwick.
Yeah.
He fished a regular, but he's always, I'm turkey hunting. He'll call me. I'm like, I ain't going to be here that weekend. You're going to have to lay that gun down if you want to catch a fish. I said, nah, I can fish year round. I can't turkey hunt for just a few weeks.
That's right. He's got a point.
Them guys, Shane Bishop and I, they're in our hunting club just to fish.
Yeah.
Lake with Dad with the crappie is just incredible. And I never get to go with them. I'm always turkey hunting, And I said, maybe one of these days I'll kill one right off the bat.
But you can go down there and turkey hunt. Turkey hunt that morning, then fish with them.
I'm bad to hunt in the evenings too.
Yeah.
I hunt all day. It's just something I do. Now, if I could kill that morning, that'd be fine. I did go out with a boxcar one day, but it was kind of past the prime. But we still caught a good limit, and it was a blast. That live scope, now that's nice. A ticket.
It is.
He was out here scouting back when I got a golf cart I bought from him. That's where he was going that day. I said, "You fishing?" He said, "Nah, we just riding up there. He's going to shoot some docks and just around here somewhere." I said, "Well, drop me a pin if you find one."
Yeah, because his place is over in Miller's Bottom.
Yeah,
that's where. He's not far from here. And then I don't know where they were at this past weekend, but him and the grandson caught some slabs over the weekend. I can't remember what lake they went to, but he's Briar Rabbit. He's getting where he likes to fish with Pawpaw.
The weather's getting right here.
Well, and it's been perfect weather. I know we're about to drop off, but
it's going to feel like hunting season by next week.
Yeah,
Finally. You better believe it.
Well, you've already been traveling around. Surely you found some cool weather somewhere.
Well, just got back from Kentucky.
Hot.
It was hot.
Yeah.
But the bucks had already started. So once they start, it don't matter what the weather is. I don't think.
I'm with you now.
They was once the doe started going in, we had buck activity. We was rattling bucks in. We was grunting bucks in.
Man,
we hit it just right. 3 of us went. All 3 of us shot, but none of us.
What part of Canada? Kentucky.
We were in.
East, west.
It's a little town called Baghdad. That's where it's called.
I
Baghdad.
wouldn't forget that.
It's Baghdad. Start to say Lebanon, but it's Baghdad, and Lebanon's further down. But
people don't realize the deer what Kentucky holds.
I think they're
as good as any place in the Midwest.
They're the Kansas.
I think so.
They're the New Kansas, I think.
When I was out fishing in Missouri, we were coming back one night, and there's some fine deer up in that area. But when we come back on to 24 right there, same one of the biggest bucks. I'm telling you, Chris, it was all he could do to keep from hitting with a truck. He said, I wouldn't get to keep it, though. He said, but I'm talking about it was a stud. Kentucky's got some fine deer.
We got a guy up there with Whitetail Project Outfitters. Opening weekend, I think they killed 26 out of 30 hunter. It was.
Oh, man, that's a good ratio.
Yeah, it was amazing. He's been dove season is that first weekend. So he's always trying to get us to come up there during dove season. And we're like, all right, next year we're going to dove hunt and leave that night and drive up.
It'd be worth it.
Hunt
Yeah.
Hunt that next evening.
I can't believe you got old Woodrow to go with you.
Boys,
He's hooked though, ain't he?
he is hooked. Hook, line, and sinker, son. I've never heard the funniest stories that he.
I'm gonna tell you something. He's got them.
He gets
and
so,
he can tell a story.
He gets so shook up over a deer.
Yeah.
I've never seen anybody like it.
Well, his wife killed her first buck today by herself.
She did.
Sent him a picture and said, "I've killed my first buck." Went out at their house. They've got a little property. Killed her first buck
didn't
today.
know that.
I saw it. I guess on Facebook this evening.
Decent,
I was
decent
like,
buck. It don't matter if it's your
No.
first one anyway.
I'll tell you a quick little story about him. We was up there in the opening that first day we got there. They put him right next to the highway, so that's cars going by blowing the horn.
seen it on his Snapchat.
Yeah, and he is like, "This is the worst place ever." But he didn't realize people were blowing horn when the deer would go across the road. That's blowing at the deer. He wasn't realizing this. But he said, I was sitting there thinking, how do I tell Joe? I want him to tell the guides that this is the worst place I've ever hunted. He said about 4 o'clock, he said deer just started pouring in. He had a 160, a 140. The 140 is right under him. He's drawing on it. Then the 160 come running in after the doe. He started drawing it, and it stopped. He didn't get shot, but he was so shook up. When the guy got there, he was like, man, he said, I just want to apologize to you right now. And he was like, why would you want to apologize to me? He said, I was up there thinking, why would they put me here? He said, this is the worst hunting spot ever. This close to the road, people, cars waving at me. He said, and then at 4 o'clock, he said, all the deer come in. He said, it was just a blast. He said, I've never hunted any place like this. It was just, he was tickled to death.
I think me and Brandon Bartlett seen this Snapchat, and Brandon said, he's hunting on the road. Like, he's right next to the highway. I was like, yeah, but there's a reason. There's something there. There's a big field between it or something. I said, I mean, but it's different when you get in the Midwest. There's not all this big timber, and so I mean, I love hunting the Midwest. If I was gonna get back into deer hunting, it would be worth my time to just have a place there and go hunt the gun season or whatever. I mean, it and good people up that way.
Oh yeah, it
too,
is.
man.
It's good hunting up there. Good hunting. Hey, we're killing a lot of good deer around here now. There's some big ones going down in Alabama.
There's some fine deer.
Yep.
Fine deer. Yep. Not at my place, but I don't know what's happened. Me and Anthony, we've talked this. Me and Jamie Baker, me and him's in this club together, and we're just tore up this year because normally, we don't keep no secrets. We're not secret guys. We want us to kill it and it not go over on the neighbor. That's we're sharing them trail camera pics. We're not like Dallas. We ain't holding them.
Yeah.
And normally I've got a couple shooters. He's got a couple shooters. Ernie's got a couple shooters, and they're all different bucks. We don't have that. We've got a dog problem.
I about shot a 7 point this evening.
Really?
Right after, I went over and checked my spot out, and there's a pretty 7 point. He's pretty. I thought, God, let my daughter shoot it. Kate, let her shoot one. Got home, told her, she's like, Dad, I ain't got time. I was like, golly, okay, maybe I may shoot it.
yeah.
She said, I'm busy. She said, I don't know if I'm going to have time to hunt.
Well, and you travel, I mean, your schedule gets pretty busy as well. And so, I mean, you've got 3. So
that's right.
I mean, that might have been a good opportunity to get one of them.
That's
anyway. Right. But do you gun hunt at all, Joe? Or
I
you
do.
Just
I do.
I know you like that stick and string.
I love
pretty
stick
good.
and string, but it's time. I'm going to shoot something. My trigger finger's getting a little heavy, a little itchy.
Well, what round do you shoot?
I shoot a seven mag.
Yeah, man, that's my own heart.
Yeah.
Seems like there ain't many of us out there.
I love
more.
it.
That gun will kill anything you want to kill.
You better believe it.
And Jamie, he shoots
I can kill a whitetail. I can go kill an elk.
Yeah.
I don't care.
That's my caliber.
That's mine too. He never let me down.
There's a lot of 7 mag guys. I mean, it's true and tried. I mean,
They're a little heavier gun. It's a little heavy, but it's
all
good.
right.
I
I put the crosshairs on it.
it's done.
It's done. If I do my job and put the crosshairs on it. So,
well, have you got you some target bucks, or you just like me waiting for something to come in that you hadn't seen?
You jumping right in things. You really didn't even introduce. We got Joe.
With hunter safety systems.
Okay.
Yeah. We're going to get to that. We got to talk about this hunt.
Okay. All right.
I do. I got a couple bucks. I got one good 10 and one 8. Those are the two that I'm really after. I got a 10 and an 8 and a bunch of other ones that I ain't got me fired up yet. But
Yeah.
I got 2 that I got my eyes on.
That'd be awesome.
Yep.
Are you still involved in that club there that you used to run?
No, actually, Kyle Carden, he's over it now.
Okay.
I'm the one that drives up the road and just watches them and got the land close by. If I can get them on my land,
You just got to ease them over.
I just gotta.
Oh, you scouting?
Yeah, I'm scouting.
Yeah.
No, they got a good little club there. It's been a good one for 20-something years.
Yeah. Close to home, too.
Yeah, right there at the house.
Yeah.
I got 40 acres there at the house, and I got plenty right there. Pretty much, I can get them in there if I put enough food out there. They'll be there.
Yeah. So all three of you guys had opportunities, or did all three release an arrow in Kentucky?
All 3 shot.
All 3 shot.
Kyle's was a complete miss. So he's like terrible shooting a bow. His was a complete miss.
Okay.
Me and Woodard, we both hit him.
Both hit them.
Yeah, I think Adam trailed his for 400 or 500 yards. I just barely touched mine underneath. I shot under him. I shouldn't have shot his last day. His a 10 point, and I was like, God, do I shoot? But
that's when it always happens.
Yeah,
but that would be the time you'd have to go track one and all that when you're trying to get it together and go.
Yeah, but we had a great hunt. They like I said, we all seen shooters. Nearly every day we seen a shooter.
That's
Which was
exciting.
awesome. It was just a special week. Not every week's like
That's
that.
what makes it.
Usually it's like, the week after they're hitting it, or the week before there's there. But this week it was just on.
Or you get there and the weather's terrible and it was perfect the week before, and then after you leave, the weather's perfect.
Yeah, the morning you leave, and that's when
Yep.
everything clears up and it's cold.
Bluebird skies.
Yeah, it was perfect though.
Well, yeah, because you hit it right before the full moon, so
Yep.
that was good.
It was perfect.
So you'll be planning a trip back.
Oh yeah,
And I bet Adam's right there with you, huh?
Adam's like, please let me go. Please let me go back.
He's hooked.
He is hooked. Oh man,
That's good when you cast that bait out and bring them on in, and
that's right.
Got it for life.
Yeah. He does get tore up, though. He's always got torn up. He's killed some pretty good deer here. And, killed a couple good ones in Crane Hill.
I'm gonna tell you though,
I think the biggest one he killed. I heard the story that when he shot it, that's sitting there looking at it, the guy that's with him looked over at him and he was over throwing up. He was so shook, he got sick.
yeah. I've heard a lot. Yeah, a lot of people do that.
Then he got in the truck and was going down the road. He had to stop. He was just so shook up, he threw up again. We had him bags at the camp up there in Kentucky. We said, now if you shoot one, here's your throw up bag.
Yeah, don't do it on the stand. Other people's got to hunt there.
We give him a hard time, but it was fun.
I'm sure y'all had a good trip though, because the guys you went with, they're both a lot of fun.
They are.
So maybe one of these days I'll get back into deer hunting and want to make a Midwest, because you used to go to the Midwest every year.
Yeah, I used to go to Illinois every year. I still get my buddy Donnie. He was a guide up there, Illinois Trophy bow hunter. He's all time. He's still buddies with all those guys up there, and he's all time sharing pictures. They're killing some monsters up there right now. I mean, monsters.
It's just getting right up there.
Oh, it is. I mean, this is, well, we may be getting a little past it. That's around the 7th in November, this 2-week period. You talked to Alex and them the other night. They're up there right now.
Yeah.
But he said they getting their butts kicked.
Yeah.
Well, I've seen some monsters drop up there, though.
Oh,
Golly, I've seen some pictures.
That's the way, like I said, up there, this bunch of Illinois Trophy bow hunters. I don't know if you've ever hunted up in that part. It's in Pike County up there.
Oh, yeah.
So they are knocking them down.
Last time I was up there hunting with a outfit with Final Draw, I think so. I was up there hunting with this outfit. Hunted all week, didn't see nothing. I didn't shoot anyways. I called my wife. I was like, all right, I'm fixing to come home. She said, don't come home. She said, you got any other place to hunt? She said, her and both my girls had COVID. She said, just stay up there. So I was like,
how many times you get that?
I was like, I'd never got that before. I was like, okay. So I called my guy he's actually in Indiana, but he's got 5 acres. That's all he's got in Illinois, right across the river there. 5 acres. I asked him, I said, Don, you still got that 5 acres? He said, yes, sir. I said, I'm headed that way. He said, I hadn't been on it in 3 or 4 years. He said, just have at it. And hour and 45 minutes, I done seen 5 rack bucks, killed 152 inch.
Wow.
And it was just.
So you don't need all that land.
No,
you just need the right land.
5 acres.
That's right.
You need a parking place up in that part of the world.
Yeah, it was different. I could see my truck down below me. What was weird about it is that when I shot this deer, after I shot it, this truck pulls up by my truck down there. I'm thinking, who's that guy? 2 or 3 guys gets out. Then another truck pulls up by one of us behind, one is in front. I'm like, I know I'm on the right land. I mean, I've been here before. I know this is. Well, I'm getting nervous now. I've done shot my buck. He's laying over there. He didn't go 30 yards, and it was awesome. Awesome shot. I'm not shy. I mean, it was just awesome how he come in perfect. The plan actually worked. And so, oh, well, I guess I got to get down. So I got down, walked down there. They thought I was poaching. They thought I was on their land. I said, guys, I'm hunting Don's land over in Illinois. He's from Indiana. And I thought, we got the game warden on the way. And I said, all right. I was like, oh, here we go. But anyways, I got Don on the phone, and the game warden spoke to Don, and it's like, you're good to go. You're good to hunt this land. But guys, they ended up being nice. It's like, man, we just seen that Alabama tag. We thought you was just in here.
Just stopped.
Yeah, just stopped. But it was a good hunt.
Well, people can see you so far up there that if you can't really just pull off and get in on somebody. I mean, they can see you. I know when we travel like Chicago and stuff, I'm looking at them cut fields and stuff coming through Indiana. I'm like, Lord, look at that hunter right there. And she's like, it really is. I said, yeah, I mean, you can see them. The woodlots are so thin by the time the leaves fall off.
Heck, just drive down through there opening day of gun season.
on this one, I told that old guy, or he asked me, he said, well, did you see any deer? I said, yeah. I said, I seen 5 pretty good rack bucks. I said, I let a 135-inch 10-point go, and I said, I shot a pretty good one up there. It's like, you killed one? I said, yeah, he's laying right up there right now. I said, we can nearly see him through the woods. So he said, you want to go? He said, can I go see him? I said, yeah, come on. So I took him up there, because he had the land on both sides of it, so he was excited to see what it. He was like, yeah, we've been trying to kill that buck. I said, oh, yeah.
Well, you know where he was living at now.
He's about to take a ride back to this Alabama boy right here.
He did.
Hey.
Anyway. But it's been fun working with Hunter Safety System. We have our bosses. They are super. We got everybody there. It's not, everybody thinks we're huge as far as employees and stuff. We got like 12 employees is all we have. And we got the warehouse we run. I've been out there this week. We've been having to rework some stuff. Linemen's climbing ropes. We pitch in where we got to.
It's just all hands on
One day
deck.
I may be selling. One day I may be out there boxing up stuff. So it's just hands, like you said, it's hands on, and whatever needs done, we just get it.
So how long you been with them?
Going on 10 years.
10 years.
Yeah, a little over 9 now, I think. I believe ATA coming up in January will be 10 years. That's when I started 10 years ago. And they're, like I said, they're good folks. Good folks to work for. And everybody's got it's not funny, but it's like, God, we work so hard on these safety harness. Work on them. And then you like have somebody that actually it catches. Because you forget about how important it is a lot of times, but little things that we preach on and try to make the best, try to make just stitching and different things like that. But when we get that letter in, somebody thanking you for bringing them back to their family, you're like, that's what it's all about. And
that brings you back to earth
does.
right there.
It brings
what it's all about.
I bet we have 600 letters at the office in a box that people took time to write and just thank you, for saving their lives.
And there's probably double or triple that.
Well, you just don't know what.
That's
the people that
ones,
don't write.
Yeah, that's the ones who's took time, and you'll start reading them letters, You're like, all right, I got to quit reading because you get teary-eyed when the kids, thanking you for saving their daddy or something like that.
Yeah.
But it's a blessing. It really is to be able to work for them. We've had a actually 20. We'll be January will be 25 years in business, so it's going to be a big one there.
Big anniversary coming up.
Yep,
Yeah.
sure is. And John and Jerry, the brothers, of course, our sisters used to work there. One of them still works there. And
I was going to tell you, give us a little history on it. I mean,
yeah,
we talked a little bit earlier. I knew I'd heard them on another podcast talking about it. It's a super interesting story.
That's from Michigan up there, and they live right on the outskirts of Detroit there, in the city limits. I mean, there's always as kids that's hunting with their bows and slingshots. We hear stories every day. I mean, every day we'll hear. Some of them are the same stories, but we'll hear them again. And but they grew up hunting, and there's a hunt camp, or not hunt camp. That's hunting together. And John was up the tree, and he fell out of a climber. And luckily, it didn't hurt him bad. They had walkie-talkies back then, didn't have cell phones. It's like they call each other bro. It was like, bro, you got to get over here. He said, I fell. Jerry said, I'm on my way. So he got over there, and then Jerry gets there, sees he's all right. Then he starts getting on to him. John, why didn't you have your harness on? There's one that comes with every stand. Why didn't you have your harness on? And John's like, bro, did you have yours on? He's like, no. So both of them had harnesses from their stands, but neither one of them wore them. So that's where it started. They went back to camp that night, and it's like, we got to make something where it's going to be like a piece of clothing, a jacket they can just put on, and it's there. And John said that night he had it drew up in he's just one of those guys. He said, I knew exactly that night how I wanted it. So they went back and took it to this lady down the road, that seamstress. He was like, I need you to do this for me. And she did. Done it. And then they had to build some more. Then they finally got Cabela's, I think it was, to let them show them one weekend. Sold every one they had. And from then on, that's just where it started.
I think it was funny because I heard them talking about it. Because they're like everybody, a startup business, you broke.
Yeah.
You ain't. I think they were still working their full-time jobs, selling insurance and them, doing whatever they did. But they bought these boxes to ship them in and they had Dell on them, Dell computers or something there. When they shipped them up to Cabela's or somewhere, it's like, where's your order at? Where's your order at? And it was, we thought that was computers for the IT department or something. They turned the boxes inside out for the rest of the time, I think.
Yeah. That's all they had. And that first order, there's like, we need 500 more. And they're like, 500 more.
Yeah.
We got to get to building. So that's how it started. It started from a fall. And John, he said, the Lord just put it on him. He said, I had to do it. He said, it just stayed in my mind like it's a God thing. He said, God just like, you got to do this. You got to do this. So they quit their jobs and just went 100% on it. And that was the starting of it. 25 years. Like I said, January will be 25 years. And been a lot of, the harnesses was great, but guys, a lifeline, keeping you safe, because like 86% of the falls, I think it was at the time, or a couple years ago is the falls happen when you're climbing and getting down.
Right.
And everybody's think, well, I got my harness, I'll put it on when I get there, but you're falling when you're going up and coming down.
I'm the world's worst about it.
Yep.
World's worst. That's when I'll hook after I get there.
Yep. But with that lifeline, you hook onto it when your feet's on the ground and you never unhook till it's back down. And it's like a seat belt. When you get used to wearing a seat belt, you feel naked without it.
Right.
And once you use that lifeline, you're like, I ain't climbing back up there without a lifeline. Because it's scary once you use it and feel so, you're secure. And it's just, there's been a lot of people fall that, like, we got you a lifeline. Use it. Use it.
I know
Stan Potts, he fell up. He's in Kentucky. Opening morning, he said it rained, and he's going up his steps. It was slick. He said next thing he knew, his feet went out from under him, hit the tree, knocked him goofy. He said, but, he said, I hunted that evening.
Yeah.
He said, but.
He had his lifeline.
Yeah, had his lifeline. Sure did. Hank Parker, he fell the other day, but he had fallen before, and the lifeline caught him. Sure did. But he was, I think the other day he was checking a tree stand or something when he fell, but he wasn't, didn't have his harness and lifeline on. But he's always been one that he's 99% of the time he's got one on and used it. Just that 1%. And that guy.
And that's when it'll get you.
Yep.
We were talking earlier. I said, if you hadn't failed, you are going to fall, or you better have,
They say 1 out of every 3 fall. I mean, that's if there's 3.
Well, I've made up for a couple of them. I fell a
I was going to say,
couple
like us
times.
3 right here, one of us 3's fallen before. I have.
Well, I of course, when I fell, it was longer than 25 years ago.
Yeah.
But, I rode that tree probably, I was climbing high then because I was young.
Yeah.
Knocked me slap out on the ground. I thought I broke my leg, but I didn't. That's what woke me up. My old 5-star was licking on me. I was just hanging a stand. I just went up there hanging a stand.
Yeah.
Sawed a big old muscadine vine loose, and it fell and picked the stand up.
I had a guy that he was probably in another, like climbing stands. People like, I'm in a climber. I'm safe in a climber.
That's what I was in.
That's the ones that get you a lot of times.
So
When they
time I
go,
heard
they
fail.
ain't stopping.
Yep.
Well, my top stopped about 10 feet before the bottom did. So when I went through it because my arms was black from here to here on both sides. Yeah.
I had one guy telling me, he said that he was probably 6 foot up. His top broke. The chain went around. He says, something broke on it. Fell back. Broke both ankles. He was hanging upside down.
He was falling in there.
But he wasn't but 6 foot off the ground at the time. He could barely touch his phone fell out of his pocket. He could barely touch his arrows, his quivers. So he got an arrow and pulled his phone over.
Wow.
And he said I could barely touch the ground.
He'd have hung
to get it.
there.
Yeah. He said, I called my dad. I was like, Dad, you got to come get me. He said, he's like, I'll be there in a little bit. And he's like, no, you got to come get me now. But he broke both ankles, and he'd have been, dead.
Yeah.
But it's thank the Lord that right now that hunter safety system can cover you on that. Just wear your harness, wear your
Any lifeline.
lifeline, rope style tree strap, whatever you got. Just try to stay safe, get home to your family. That's the main thing. Deer ain't worth it.
No.
And y'all got youth models and all, right?
Yeah, yep. We go youth. We got a 4X, 5X that goes up to 400 pounds. We're the only ones goes 300 to 400 pounds. That 4X, 5X does. So we try to keep everybody.
Well, and if you think about it, you can complain about, I don't want to spend that kind of money. Just go to the doctor one time. Fly out in a helicopter.
fly in
ride
a
that ambulance.
Oh,
Yeah.
Or
Or pay for a funeral.
yeah.
You
mentioned a helicopter. Had a guy in Birmingham at the Birmingham show. I know you're down there a lot. A guy one year, he's like, I'm not paying $100 for a harness. I said, all right. I said, just wear one. I don't care if it's mine, the competition, the one out of the box. Just please wear it. He's like, I just don't wear them. Well, the next year, I see this guy coming up the aisle, and he's nearly trotting to me. I'm like, who is this guy? I don't recognize him. He comes up and he said, I just want to tell you, y'all keep doing what you're doing. He said, I failed. He said, you try to sell me home. He said, I failed. My helicopter ride was $33,000.
Yep.
Cool. Mm-hmm. He said, I bought one in the hospital bed. But now he just said, keep doing what you're doing.
It just amazes me, the people that will refuse it. Not just, I forgot it this morning. And I'll be honest, I have walked out, thought it was in the truck or whatever I did. But there's some people that just, it's like refuse to wear a seatbelt in a car. Why?
Yeah. Hey, I've climbed the trees. I did it last year. I forgot to hook my leg straps. I walked in with them, didn't buckle them till I thought I'll get there and I'll buckle them up.
Yeah. I've done that.
I got up there and I'm like, oh no.
Yeah.
Right.
And I'm trying to be easy on that stand, click it in.
I mean, we're all human.
Oh, yeah.
That can happen. Just, dang, be smart.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, and that's the thing. All this has evolved so much that all your high-end hunting jackets have got a slot for that to go out the back.
yeah.
I mean, so there's no excuse.
excuses.
I mean, I remember when they didn't, and you'd run it out the collar. But I mean, now they've got a slot in there to run them out.
Yep.
I mean, it's there for a reason.
That's
for
right.
sure.
I'll tell you a little what's coming out new. A lot of people don't know it yet, but we are getting into the saddle business too now. We're actually going to debut it at ATA. That's when we'll do it. It'll be, hitting all the retail stores, but we've sort of done a soft launch, so we do have them on our site and on Amazon right now. But
one Monday when Anthony's off,
I'm off every Monday.
Well, and I'm off, but we are going to stop by. I want to check that out.
And if he won't stop by, if he's going on a hurricane, I'm coming on up.
Come on up.
You know where it's at. Every time we go by there, I'm like, there it is.
Yeah, y'all stop in. I got some trees up there that set up that y'all inside. We can go in there and try them out. We got a platform called a Legend platform. It's pretty cool. That little platform is. We don't have steps, but we do have everything else. It's called a slap strap. This right here is what's the thing when you're when you're going up, hanging your steps. Your lineman's rope always wants to fall. Mm-hmm. So y'all remember those wristbands, slap strap wristbands?
Oh, yeah.
It's called the slap strap. It's got my lineman's rope and my tether rope in it. So I carry it in around my waist. When I get to the tree, I just slap it around the tree. It holds, hands free. Hook my lineman's belts up, hook my lineman's belt up. And as I climb now, it's not sliding down a tree. I just pick it up, slide it up, put it on.
I haven't seen that yet.
It's going to be a big hit next year.
I'm going to tell you what. See, there's always something out there waiting to be improved or invented. You think it,
right?
You think what else can there be?
And with
there's
the saddle hunters, what's different? They'll be. It may be a cruiser saddle. Maybe using these whoever tether sticks, or everybody just the slap strap. Anybody can use it, and whether you're using a hunter safety system saddle, or if you're using a tethered saddle or a latitude or whoever you're using, the slap strap, it works for anybody.
Now, y'all calling your saddle anything special, or is it just hunter safety system?
No, it's going to be, we got a Defender and a Guardian.
Okay.
Defender saddle and Guardian. One of them's going to be retailed at $169 and one of them's going to be $199. So we're going to be a totally different price point than all the other ones.
Yeah.
We're not going to be no $300 and $350. We're going to be a $169, $199, and hopefully that anybody can purchase one of those.
Yeah,
that'd be cool right there. We'll have to come up there and.
What about your platform now? What price range are your platforms?
Platforms, it's $250.
$250.
Yep, it's $250 is what it is. It's a little bigger platform. We didn't want a real small one because our clientele, we want something that people got a lot of foot room on there. It's going to weigh right about.
A lot of us grew up and grew out with you guys.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's me.
Exactly. A lot of people want the real little, but ours is a little bigger. But we wanted it like that. We wanted a place for a foot. Got a little foot rest up top, and it's pretty neat.
You might convince me to try one. I've never done it.
Me either.
I'm Mr. Old School, but that's a name I can trust. I mean, it's a name makes me, well, I'd give it a try.
I mean, we're definitely going to go down there and try it. I mean, because I've never been in one, and of course I'm a bigger boy, and I just want to see, which when I was climbing trees, doing tree work and stuff, you think about it, we'd stay in those saddles 8 and 10 hours a day, climbing power lines. I mean, and the way they fit, it is totally different. There's not as much pressure as you think. Now, climbing spikes, they put a lot of pressure on the shins, but I mean, with that system, you're not using climbing spikes. If a man was good with these new light climbing spikes, you could really run up one with that setup. Yep. It'd be a neat deal. Mm-hmm. So what was you saying the platform weighed, or
it's right at 4 pounds, just a little under 4.
It's not terrible.
But, I mean, there's some a lot lighter, but
I've kind of noticed too.
We want to make sure it's going to be there.
It's there.
If you want to get on it, it's there. You ain't got to worry about it.
And I noticed with some of this, I'm keeping up with it. I haven't been in a saddle yet, but
right.
But a lot of guys, it seems like they mix and match some of this stuff up. It ain't just one brand, just whatever kind of works for them, and they piece this stuff together and make it a little more personalized, I guess.
Oh yeah, I mean, I even hear Alex. You know, they're big cruiser, but them certain steps and there's some kind of carbon fiber ones out now.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I mean, you know,
You remember the little platform they had over there in the steps when we were at the archery shoot? That was a neat setup. Now I don't remember what it was. They had went to that saddle show.
Yeah.
Where that's all it was.
Yep.
And the guy had bought a platform and some sticks from there. They were pretty neat. It was hilarious. Nick went to get on them, and he had stepped in dog crap and got it all over the brand new step.
all over that brand new step. Yeah, it wasn't his steps. So
The guy's like, well, I guess I'll take that back now. Nope.
So that's going to be our big launch next year. So,
well, I mean, that
we're
would
excited
be
about that.
I mean, that's almost a whole new direction as far as I mean.
It is.
Everything y'all have ever been focused on is safety. You know, the harness, the lifeline.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, maybe there's into other stuff I don't know about, but seems like to me, I mean, you never went out and built a climbing stand and,
Right.
or that kind of stuff or ladder stands or whatever. So yeah, that's
we're
exciting.
We're excited about it.
I'm excited because it's a Alabama, company, family-owned
Yep.
company. There's not many of them left anymore.
No.
So I mean, yeah.
Yeah, we're located right there in Danville. So
Yeah.
y'all, I always tell people, y'all are welcome to come by anytime, try anything on.
I need to invest in a new hunter safety system. I don't know how old mine is. I need to get it out and look. I'm trying to think which one I got. I think when you guys switched over to the mesh ones. However, that was, I bought it from you at Birmingham at the deer show. I'm pretty sure.
I got one of them. I think the mesh is when they moved over to the.
You was telling me you got one.
I got one with seat belts.
belt
Yes, sir.
buckle.
I still got them. I still got them.
I've got the original one.
Like I said, back in the day before any of this company, they wouldn't even know. There wasn't no tree stand safety, anything. Everybody's building their own, and
Yep.
I guess we was ahead of the curve. We go in the. I don't know if I told you that. I might have mentioned to you, but a Ford Pinto had the best seat belts, and that's what we use for a safety belt.
Really?
We put them around the tree. Man, if we could find a wrecked Pinto, we harvested the seat belts.
Well, you
Let's put it that way.
you was one of the early ones.
We was way right back. Would we have died if we'd fell? I don't know. A lot of them early belts, just pinch you.
Just
And
went
you're
around
hung
your
upside
waist.
down until,
Yeah.
until you died or somebody
give
found
you a chance though. Anyways.
Well, it's better than hitting the ground, I guess.
Yep.
My
Unless you hung
stepdad,
there.
he would make me wear one of them because that's what was out when I first started hunting with him. And
Yeah.
He was a huge bow hunter and he'd had some falls and stuff back in the day. And he's like, boy, you put that belt here. And I thought, this thing will snatch me in half if something happens. And then, of course, when hunter safety systems come out, I mean, actually, me and Mike, we bought those together, the ones with the seatbelt buckles. So I guarantee he still got his somewhere.
I got it. I know I got it.
People don't realize when you hit, how much pressure you hit with on a fall. I mean, you can't hit over 1,600. Those little breakaways, that keeps you from, hitting over 1,600 pounds of pressure. But
Is that the whole reason to slow you down?
Yeah.
How it snatches
just breaks,
apart?
It just breaks apart.
Yeah.
Yep, sure does.
Keeps you from getting that initial
that
snatch.
initial, yep. That's what it's for.
I could kick myself. We should have invented these things. I used to run red iron and stuff, and I've always done heating and air conditioning. We had to be up in these big buildings and stuff, and I always had to wear a safety harness up there. I mean, OSHA was all over you. I don't know why you didn't think it.
Oh, I know.
Let the two brothers do it.
My wife, she talked about, they need a line of cosmetics for women that hunt so they can put makeup on it, have earths in it or whatever. It's like the next year they had a line out, and she said, see,
there you go.
We should have invested.
I'm telling you, you think it's all been invented. No, there's always something new.
Mm-hmm.
Technology's changing.
Yeah.
I mean, who thought you'd be toting one of these around with you everywhere? Them telephones, that's what,
That's your computer.
It is. I mean, well, I mean,
I know, joke. I signed.
if you
a
see
home
me
loan.
over here, it's cause my Motrie's going off. I mean, they moving tonight. I'm telling you right now.
Yep.
I mean, I bet I've got 50 pictures.
They
since I
started
just
about
said-
2:00 this evening.
I was
and
going to
they've
say
just
they
been-
was.
Oh,
they was
I was
there.
going to show you. I got a 9. Well, he should be a 9 point.
I would say that they was moving at 4:30, but my boss might hear this and know that I left.
Yeah.
Work,
I hope he hears
that.
it.
I left work about 30 minutes early.
Well, you were having to try out some of the gear and
That's
make
right.
sure everything's good.
R&D.
Well, you wasn't sure what all we talk about here, so you might want to get a little field, scouting out so we have something to talk about if we drifted away.
Hey, I'll tell you, with those saddles, you wouldn't believe the hours. Y'all know where our building's at. In the past year and a half, how many hours I've sit in a saddle.
Now, are you doing that just for like testing R&D stuff? So you
just go up there and sit for 2 or 3 hours and see if there's any pinch points or it's just.
How do you get that job?
You
You need somebody on Mondays to come up there and just sit for a few hours.
It's tough, I'm telling you. I might have slept a little bit back there too. But
well, that just means you feel safe.
that's right.
Well, you're right.
That's right.
When we had Blaine on here, I'm pretty sure what he was saying. The two best friends that shot the deer. I think he told me they were in saddles, sitting in the same tree on each side of the tree.
They killed 130, 140s.
Yeah,
because he found the first
Same
one.
time.
And he said, "I thought you said your buddy shot the big one." He said he did. He was.
He said, "I ain't never had a buddy let me come shoot one like that." I think he'd let the buddy kill the bigger.
That's
one.
what I'm saying. When he looked,
Yeah.
they tracked the smaller deer, but that's what he said. I thought you said your buddy killed the bigger one because he thought he'd found the
I think
big
it was
one.
like
It was
130 is the small one.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's awesome to hear that kind of number
Right here.
around this area. I mean,
Well,
I didn't know that we would ever get.
If you let them go.
Yep.
I mean, they got to get that at least 3.5, but
was gonna
4.5,
say, if
5.
they hit 4,
Of course, they're a whole different animal now. They something.
Yeah.
There's a switch flips on them when they get 4.5, 5 years old. I mean, they ain't the same deer they was.
And I know
at
y'all do the
2.5,
same
3.
thing. Every year you have those 2.5-year-old 8 points, and you're like, boy,
Next year.
we got so many. Next year it's going to be on. And you're like, okay, we got 2.5-year-old 8 points
Yeah,
again.
every year
Or whatever.
Am I running a nursery? What's going
Like,
on?
where are they going? They're there.
Listen, I hunted a 7-point. I know he was 5.5, maybe 6.5. He may have been 2 years old first. I guess he was first time I saw him. I hunted that deer for 4 solid years. Never seen him in the daylight. And last year I hunted this club property. I've had it for. I got in there in '98, and then anyway, it borders the national forest. I mean, I'm hunting the line. That deer, he's over there more than he's over on us anyway. Opening morning, I wasn't hunting that year or last year, and a guy in the forest killed him at 10:30 in the morning, walking down a holler. I've been down that holler 100 times turkey hunting. I know right where he was. I even sent him a message and said, "Man," and I thought I was mad. I mean, ain't my
Right.
deer.
Oh, yeah.
I'll never be that guy that goes, "You killed my deer."
Yeah.
I mean, did we have a good long relationship? I got pictures left and right of that deer. I mean, I might have caught a glimpse of. My son actually did see him for a few seconds as he come through the pines, and he said, "I was afraid to take a shot." I said, "Well, I'm glad you didn't take a shot you wasn't comfortable with, but that was the only shot you're ever going to get on that deer. I mean, he just didn't come out in the daytime."
Hey, I let
And monster, I mean, big old 7-point.
I
Now,
have
he's got a son. I'm watching him. He's 2.5, but he's just a 5. I don't know if he'll ever be more than a 5.
I know this is a crazy story, but I had a 3.5-year-old scored 164 inches.
Oh, I'm killing him.
Well,
I don't care if he's 2.5.
I seen him. I dropped my gun. I borrowed somebody else's, and I had him at 250 yards, which if my gun I'd have shot, but I was like, I know where he's bedding. I've never shot this gun before. I'm gonna bring my daughter. I was gonna let her shoot him that next evening, or that evening is what I was gonna do. Well, he was there because I had pictures of him, and went back. She was like, "Dad, I see him. Here he comes." I was like, "All right, good." Well, it was a doe. It wasn't him. Anyhow, I didn't kill the deer, but my neighbor, I let him hunt there, and he killed him. I was proud for him, but I was like, he's like,
It hurts, but I mean,
he's like, you ain't gonna believe what I killed. And before I'd seen my picture, he said, "That's him." He said, "I didn't know how big he was." He said, "I just seen the rack and shot." And 164 inches.
You're a good neighbor, Joe.
3-year-old.
Well, this deer was not no 160 class deer that I was after, but when you go round and round with him, I mean, he showed up today. I had daylight pictures of him, and never when I was there.
When you was at work.
Yeah, when I was at work or something. But I mean, the guy, I just saw it on one of the
I remember you sent
Alabama Deer Hunter page or something other, and it was his son. And he said, my dad scored big in the Talladega National Forest, and I saw that picture, and I went, oh my God.
You knew.
I knew. And then I knew the tree he was beside holding the deer because I'd been there. I've been in that holler before. And like I said, I hope he didn't take it wrong, but I mean, I just messaged him. I said, man, I hunted that deer for the last 4 years. Never seen him in the daylight, not with a gun anyway. I seen him one year. I bought 40 acres right up the road. And I was going up there. I was actually going to put some gates up. I was having my fence post. The fence post still there. I still ain't put no gates up. But he was standing right on the county road on the forest and our property line because they cut it. And he was just standing there looking at me. I thought, you SOB, I'll get you next year. No, well, I didn't. No, but he knew he was safe. It was February.
Talk about them 2.5-year-old 8 points. About the same way with Jakes. Boy, I got 12 Jakes on the place.
Oh, my God. Oh, yeah.
Next year, you got 3 mature gobblers gobbling. You're like, where is these 12 Jakes, man?
Well, it's that way at my dad's house right now. We had 8 longbeards the other day out there in East Greenfield. My brother's going, where are these turkeys at come springtime? We might get lucky and kill 1 or 2. We have doubled over there before, but where they 50? There'll be 50 hens in the Greenfield in February.
Yeah.
You won't see a hen all spring long. I don't know where they're going.
I don't either. How far do they travel?
Yeah,
how far does a turkey travel?
Listen.
I don't know.
They got the habitat. There's stuff to eat. There's clover. There's been a feeder out. They could feed on corn. At least you'd think they'd come back and check it. I mean, the feeder's been long gone because, boy, my dad, as soon as it kills him to leave that Greenfield in. He's just wanting to plow so bad or do something. We won't let him even bush hog or do nothing. But, you'd think they'd come around, at least, like down there where I hunt is 3,000 acres. I could almost pattern them turkeys. They never roosted the same place, but they kind of fed a big circle. That you might not know exactly where they were when you got down there, but you could hit 2 or 3 places. You finally find fresh scratchings. You know about where that flock was feeding around. But I don't know about these birds. It ain't like there is a lot of land, but it ain't that much land.
I seen 8 or 10 long bears. I was telling you this week, boy, they look good out there. I was like, God, those suckers look good. I think 3 of them were bronze too, and I was like, oh, man, they look good.
It's the land of the plentiful during deer season. Then it's just like, what happened?
Yeah. My daughter-in-law, she works for me, and she said, "You going down this weekend?" I said, "Yeah, I got to put up a couple ladder stands and all." She said, "Well, the big day's coming right around." She don't hunt. And my son really just getting back into it. But I said, "Yeah, it's the most glorious day of the year." She said, "I didn't think you cared much about deer hunting." I said, "No, that means it's that much closer to opening day of turkey season."
That's right.
I said, "Nobody celebrated more about the end of deer season than me because I knew."
It's
of course, this was back in January. It ended in January. It was just a month and a half. Then we'd be back in the woods.
I got one place, usually in December, January, them turkeys are gobbling too up there. They're just
ain't nothing.
They're just toying with you like I'm just.
Oh,
I
love a good warm day
I do too.
in late January, and they gobbling somewhere. And they used to down there. They cut us our land the deer hunt on. They cut us to the bone. Ain't no turkeys left on it no more.
I just like to hear. I mean, it gets me excited just to hear the hens when you're out there deer hunting.
Oh yeah,
you're like hens. You just know that turkey's right there.
Well, that's what I said. We've been in a drought. I've worked so hard on these 2 or 3 greenfields I had cut in on this place I bought. Last year, I just got it cleaned off and soil was dead. You couldn't grow cactus on it. So got it all. I spent this whole summer liming and I put, on each greenfield, I put 2,000 pounds of triple 13 just trying to get the nitrogen and ash and all up on it. So I'm thinking this is going to be a great year. So I got it all planted. Of course, it hadn't, up until the other day, it hadn't rained in a month. But I had a flock of turkeys living on that field, and I'd show people, man, them turkeys killing. I said, you know what? I'll replant it.
That's right.
I said, I don't care nothing about them deer. If they have something green to eat on this winter, if them turkeys can eat it, I'll put another 50-pound bag out there on it for them. But it looks like it's coming up from my pictures. I can't believe I'm talking about every day for 30-something days, they've been 15 turkeys in that field. You couldn't lay that striker down without touching a track.
They're out there scratching
it up.
Loving it.
And I got a camera back off a feeder, not showing the whole field, but now that it's rained, it's sprigging up everywhere. I'm going, I can't believe that much seed's still left. But, I didn't care if nothing come up. I'd go. That's what my plan was Saturday, go down there and replant anyway, but I may not have to.
Well, I thought we missed the edges around all of our green fields. It's crazy. It's a little strip, maybe 3 or 4 foot wide around every green field, just still dirt, and the center's out there pretty. And Jamie said when they were down there Saturday, he started noticing. He said, you get right down to it. He said, I don't know if the trees were drawing all the water on the edge. He said, but it's starting to come up. You can just see fine green hair around through there. He said, it's starting
to come up. But after this rain, we'll get it.
We did get fertilizer put on there finally, so I'm excited to see what happens in the next week or so after that rain last night. But
hey, that's good rain last night.
Oh, man, that was the kind you want. Slow.
That was a good one.
It rained hard out by us for about 5 straight hours. I just finished that big dirt project, and I talked to the people today because I've been in a panic.
Didn't wash away.
She said that thank God that the dirt had a little bit of moisture because we got some rain before we started that, and we walked it in with the dozer. But she said there was a few runs in it, and that's pretty good considering there was no straw or any kind of seed put on it because, it just wasn't part of the job. And he's a pilot, so he hasn't made it in yet from his week or 2 week run or whatever. And she's from Germany, and I was trying to explain this to her. I said, yeah, just get some ryegrass and some wheat straw and throw in there. And she's like, what is that? And she's trying to put it in her phone. And I said, yeah. She said, well, we really don't want grass. And I said, look, when it gets 80 degrees, that stuff's going to die out. I said, just go ahead and put it on there. It's just to hold it for the winter until you guys figure out what you want to do. But, yeah, very, very sweet lady. But I was glad to hear that it was just like minor runs and not something washed. Yeah, because it rained hard.
I got a gully down through there now.
Yeah, I knew we were going to move that 13 loads of riprap. I mean, that's a lot of weight. That hill wasn't going nowhere. But, yeah, we got some good rain.
Good rain. What about Trump, boys? That's a good thing, wasn't it?
God bless America.
Exactly.
I'm going to tell you, I went to work that next day, and you can tell me if you did too, it was like a weight was lifted off of me. It was.
Sure enough.
My phone's blowing up. I'm getting jobs again.
That's what I like to hear.
Well, I mean,
that's what I like to hear.
Let me tell you something. Look at gas prices. The man ain't even in office. It's done dropped 20 cents a gallon in a week.
Yep.
Stock market's been doing a little something
Stock market.
Mm-hmm.
And he is blowing them up with his picks. He's fill these spots. They said Pfizer and one of them other big drug companies, their stocks are going down. As soon as he put RFK or what's his name, Kennedy.
Yeah,
he put him ahead over all that. They know their days are numbered. They poisoning everybody
man there.
Oh yeah,
that dude's jacked.
He is. I don't know how old he is, but he is.
He's
jacked.
70. He's in his mid-70s.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
I mean, I wish I had the want.
I love a man that'll pick up a dead bear on the side of the road and go lay it out in the park for a prank.
Yeah,
especially a man with his kind of money. Yeah. Who would ever think it? So,
but maybe the economy, everything's going to get strong.
I hope it does.
That's good for everybody.
Maybe everybody can get them a hunter safety system.
That's right. Exactly.
Well, the price point is good, so why not?
That's right.
Hey, Space Command may be coming right there in your back door.
Yeah, that's right.
So I feel it will now. And so, yeah, things are looking up. I'm
excited about this next year.
You know, so I suffered. I don't know how y'all did, but those 8 years Obama had it, I mean, it was going downhill when Bush, we was going to housing crash and all that kind of stuff, but I kept thinking if we can just get through it, and then we got Trump, and Man, that 4 years was good and it was fast.
Yeah, it went by
And then they say what they want. They did whatever they did, and Biden come in there. And I was telling Shelby at the office, I said, I honestly believe if Trump had lost, I don't know where we'd be in 4 years. I don't know if we'd even have a country. As far as they took it in I can't believe we went that far back.
Yeah.
And anti-America and people broke and losing your rights. That's what I just can't believe they could do it in 4 years.
How quick they did it.
And they did it.
Yep.
If they had 4 more years, I just don't know.
It's all uphill now. It's going to be positive.
Isn't it amazing,
I'm pumped. I'm ready.
Isn't it amazing how Hamas, no problem. War's over. We had ammo, peace. Iran, we got no trouble with the United States. We don't want no problem. Putin, yeah, I'll talk.
Yeah.
We can talk. Yeah. Amazing what strength will get you.
Yep, that's right.
We're just having a backbone. That's
what I'm saying.
I mean, being a sheepdog. You know what I mean? That's that term, the sheepdog thing. That's one thing that's always stuck with me. And I've always tried to be the sheepdog at my house, and always going to be.
And I know Trump. I don't know him. I mean, I know he's a rich man. He's never been a hunter or anything. But his son, Junior.
Oh, he's a hunter.
He's big time.
He's a
big
hunter.
time, and he's got daddy's ear. And there's a lot of stuff. Conservation wise,
I think it's good. I think
it'd be super good for us
because he's
a big time hunter,
die-hard hunter. Yep, that's what we need.
That's what
we do. Are you taking any kids this weekend?
If you got a 160, Daddy, I'll go with you.
Yeah, now he's your dad.
Actually, I got 2 nephews. One of them, I thought about taking one of them. I got on that 7-point. He's coming in pretty regular. I may let him.
That'd be good.
Yep.
My daughter, I'm going to take her.
Are you taking her?
Yeah. She says, she knows what I got on camera, and she goes, is there not somewhere else we can go? And I said, hey, you don't ever know.
Before I had 8-point show up behind the shop up there. You're up there and sit in the blind.
I said, before we had cameras, Grace, I mean, you just kind of went out there and hunted. I said, and to be honest with you, sometimes it was a lot more fun. I mean, because when the deer showed up, you're like, oh my God, I got a rack deer in here. You didn't even know beside the sign that you were kind of hunting over. But, I mean, like I say, I've got a dog issue going on at the camp, and it's the first year that we haven't just had, picture galore. But I know they're there.
I was talking to a guy today at work, and I was like, the cameras are great, but how many times do I not hunt where a buck may be going across that field chasing a doe that I'm not there because I ain't got anything on camera?
Well, that's what me and Jamie got talking about. You're covered just
hunt
a small
with the guy,
area.
and he works for me, and I've known him since a little kid.
100-acre pasture. You know what I mean?
They don't always walk in front of that camera. That's what I was going to tell you.
And this time of the year, if they're on a doe, they may be 3 miles down the road and just coming through there.
Well, I mean, even if they're not on does, it's raining acorns where there's acorns at. I mean, they might be over there feeding right now. I mean, they may hit your field once the acorns dry up a little bit.
I think when it got so dry, I believe a lot of our deer pushed off into wetter, cooler areas, and they just haven't moved.
I could watch a half dozen every morning.
Yep.
Coming to the lake to
water.
Drink. Yeah, they had to.
Yeah.
Yep.
They've been right there.
Yep.
Because the tracks are under my walkway.
I don't have a lot of acorns.
We didn't either.
Just
down south we did. It's covered up right here. Mm-hmm. The white oaks, the post oak, they're full of acorns.
Oh, we didn't have any.
Now, I guess they can suck water out of, right there. But even up here on the hill, there's acorns. I walk the dogs in the evening time, squirrel dogs.
But before cameras, I seen a lot more deer. I probably, if I'd had a camera, I wouldn't never seen because I wouldn't have been there hunting.
Because you was hunting.
Yeah, I was hunting.
You was hunting, yeah.
And my eye, I wasn't on my cell phone looking at
that right there. I guarantee you, I've missed deer because of that.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I know I did because I look up and there he's got.
They just slip through just so easy, so quiet, and so. I mean, they're just, especially in bucks. I mean, they just. I mean, I do the same thing all the time. You look up, or maybe I'm actually hunting and I've got the phone put down, and I'm like, if I would, I just put my phone down. If I wouldn't have been looking, I mean, he's out there 100 yards, just easing through the tree line.
But it's like he's talking on the cameras. That boy Philip, he'd had his camera over in this spot all year long. Nah, there ain't nothing over there. And he somewhere else, guy went over there and killed a 10-point. He was just about to die.
Yeah.
I said, they don't always walk in front of them.
My old buddy Kyle, he was the other day, he's like, you got any big ones on camera? I said, no, I really don't. He said, you sure are over a lot. I'm like, well, there's going to be a big one come through there sooner or later.
Yeah.
I don't have to have him on camera. I know there'll be one come through there.
What about when does the rut hit over there on your place?
Thanksgiving.
Yep. Man, that's...
Then my other place, it's on up further north. It's first week of January.
Really, that area up there, it's that late.
Yep.
I kind of figured it might be Christmas.
Yeah.
It's right in there.
Yep.
Wow.
It is Christmas, first week.
Yeah.
It's on up there.
Well, I don't know what's going on, but, used to, where I hunt there in Wilson Bend, you could get on a good deer Thanksgiving morning. I'm talking about it'd be on, grunting, everything else. But the last 2 years, it seems like it's pushed into the first week of December, first week of December, second week, and then like last year, it was Christmas. Took my wife to Chicago to see her family, and Jamie sending me pictures of the biggest deer we've had on camera. It's like the big boys just finally really got going. This is, right after Christmas. I was kind of amazed. I feel like we've maybe give up a little bit or quit hunting the rut a little too early for some of the bigger deer.
Yep.
So I'm going to keep that in mind this year too. I mean,
January 20th down there where I hunt. That's
somewhere
right there. That's
Randolph
County.
County.
Before, a little after. That's when they're going to be in Dallas. That part of Dallas County. We're in little north of Selma.
Randolph
Isn't
County.
it crazy?
Same time.
Those does come in the same time nearly every year. They'll come in within a couple of days, they say.
But then it makes you wonder when you see some of these fawns, like deer.
I got a little one
super
right now
late.
that
I think it's just because the bucks can't get to all of them.
they can't. I think
Yeah.
they hit them on that second round, maybe even a third round. I don't know. I've seen them chasing in March I'll be down there scouting turkeys first week of March and
In South Alabama. Yeah.
and see them chasing.
Yep.
It's crazy. But we got so many mixed up deer anyway. I mean, you got that Michigan blood and
Kind of know when
but
you
we
get
know
into
who's
that.
got the purest turkeys in the world. Don't you remember that? That's
South Carolina. Yeah.
look on their website. They'll tell you that they got the purest Eastern
turkey.
turkeys.
It's
in
the South Carolina strand. I mean,
Yeah.
we were getting educated.
Well, that's what William, old boy that owns Legacy Game Calls. I don't know if you know William or not. He's a good guy, but he lives there. And he's like, they're gonna have to explain that to me. But
Yeah, I've never
I
heard of
researched that. Oh, it's there. That's one of the things they boast about. But this the reason is they didn't restock like the rest of the South did. That's their main. Their turkeys are mainly South Carolina turkeys. So that's why they say they got the purest strain of Easterns.
I don't care what strain they are or nothing else, as long as they're plentiful and I can go out and hunt.
Listen.
I'm there.
I'm gonna shoot him if he's bred with one of them white turkeys somewhere in a farm somewhere. If he's out there gobbling,
Hey, spring,
strutting.
it don't matter. Just waking up in the spring, hearing God's creation come alive. It's just
It's a time that people will never know because
if they're not
don't
out there.
turkey
If
hunt.
they're not out there.
But
Yep.
I mean, I get it too though. Guys that are crappie fishing, if they're listening,
Oh, yeah.
they're
they're
hearing a
hearing.
lot of good sounds because I
well,
mean,
they're hearing the gobbling. Like I
Right.
said, I mean,
Oh yeah.
right.
if they're in the right part of the world, that's what I tell everybody. That's my sunrise service almost every morning. Every morning I can go.
Yep.
I tell you though, after us hunting like we have, where we've started traveling and stuff, and for the guys like Eddie and them, that H&S guys and all that,
Oh,
that
yeah.
used to, and David Blatton and Michael Waddell, all them guys that traveled and hunted basically the whole season of deer and then jumped right into turkey. I don't see how they made it. I'm talking about we are worn out.
Yes.
We're worn out, and we won't take a day. You know, I mean, because you don't
I
have
can
to.
go hunt. I can hunt somewhere for a week, and when I get, you're just drained.
It's drained.
It-
People
it's-
don't realize. And I mean, and you may not be hiking up mountains or anything. It's just I don't know if it's the stress or just the focus you have on it all week.
But they're doing it. They're doing it this week. They're flying here.
Oh,
doing
yeah.
it this week. They're doing it next week.
Did you see that deer Waddell killed in Kansas?
Yeah, that was a stud.
Oh my God.
Stud.
It's a stud.
I'd like to meet that dude one day.
He's a good guy.
He is. He's funny, man.
He's a good guy.
He was going to be an air conditioning man.
Was he?
He's only got one fault. He's Realtree. Nah, that's not a fault.
yeah.
But I mean, you know,
Them boys are good down there.
Oh.
Old Bill Jordan and all them. I was with. We had a meeting down there a few months ago, and he got telling us all the stories, talking about the Mannings. He said, I was the one catching all the passes. I didn't realize he played for Ole Miss. And
that's one. Yeah.
Archie, he said, him and another guy, because he showed me his phone in Texas of him and Archie, and it's like a group of them of 20. He said they still text all the time. He said, him and another guy said, we're the ones that made him look good.
Yeah.
Archie.
Yeah.
He said, we was the one catching
You had to catch the ball.
catching the bad passes that he threw, but we'd catch them.
I used to say that about Joe Montana. Jerry Rice made him look good.
Jerry Rice he's one of my top receivers to this day. I mean, oh man, that fight's happening tomorrow night.
Bill Jordan played with Archie.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I did not know that.
He was his receiver. Sure
I
was.
did not know that.
Yep. And if you look, he's always big in Ole Miss football.
Oh no, I know they're real big.
Yeah, that's the reason he played there. Him and old Archie. And he said in the group message, he said, you can look here, all these texts. He said, Archie is texting all the time. He said, he's the one. He said, he just constantly texting everybody.
He's a group leader.
He's the leader.
He don't have anything to do anymore. He
But-
got it all out. That boy's running the show now,
But there's some.
well, I mean, they're still family. I mean, I've heard
yeah.
they've been for sale, but I mean, they're still owned. They still.
They're family. Yep,
Yeah.
sure are.
So I mean, there ain't, like I said, there ain't many left. We was talking about that earlier.
Old Realtree road trips, boy, I used to love.
Oh,
watching
yeah.
that.
Yeah. And no Drury boys, man.
Yeah.
I used to not miss any of that. And
Yep.
what was that?
I'm telling you, but man, their Drury's marketing them's got it down to a science.
Yeah, they do.
I mean, to a point where you don't even walk in. I mean,
don't get on that property.
nothing until time to hunt. I mean, it's crazy when you. I mean, I guess if you can do it, that's the way you do it. But that's kind of like what was that boy that Cuz had on his podcast? You said you met him. Had the two-parter, the one that kind of went downhill. What was?
Oh yeah, Chris Brackett.
Yeah, Chris Brackett.
He'd said
He's the same way.
he
Though.
doesn't enter the woods till November the 11th.
Yeah, and only hunts evenings,
Yeah, only hunts evenings.
Yep.
And he said,
and it's got to be the right wind.
"Oh, he's got pressures. I mean, he studies the
This
whole
dude,
deal.
I mean, but I'm thinking, come to the South and try it.
Yeah, go to the Bankhead.
Tell me,
Go in the Bankhead for
the
us.
wind was out of the north, so I entered from the south. Well, it can be blowing out of the north and hit me in the back in the south by the time I work around them hills and hollers trying to get where I'm going. It's just a different.
Get
it's
one of them
different
bottoms
here in the
and
south.
them swirls and
They've got
thorns.
they've got the deer up there for sure. But I'm telling you, it's a whole lot harder hunting here.
I mean, I'll never forget going to Pike County. That's my first Midwest hunt, and it breaks daylight, and go get my little stand, and it breaks daylight, and I'm going, really? I'm in like a 50 by 50 patch of woods with just cut fields all the way around me. I'm like, well, no wonder you can kill deer here. I mean, they only have this to come down or down the
Little
edge,
funnels,
and
yep. That's how it is in Kansas. If you find you a group of trees, may just be 50 trees. And they're calling that a timber bottom.
oh yeah, yeah.
I'm like, where's the timber bottom?
Well, when we leased property in Missouri, anything had timber on it. That's called trash land. That's trash land. And I'm like, trash land, because this one farm we had was maybe 800 acres, but 276 of it was in timber, which you don't see much there,
Yeah.
But that's because that's where all the drainages was for that farm. And he's like, yeah, this is trash land in here. And I'm like, man, this is great. And then rubs on big old
Oh, yeah.
Well, I mean,
cottonwood trees and
that's
stuff.
their highway.
Yeah,
That's
Kansas.
how they move.
If you find that patch of trees, usually on a creek bottom or something, they're going to come through there. You just put a stand there and they will come through there. Turkey, out there at Kansas. I've never hunted out there, but I'm like, they'd roost at the one little patch of woods. You can see them in a line coming for a mile. and they'd go right that patch of woods. I'm like,
That's the way it was in Nebraska.
This would be so
well. I mean,
much.
actually, in Kansas, they were the same places, except them. I'll tell you what, they can sense when the storm's coming.
Boy, they know.
They know. I don't know what it was. They was headed for high ground. We should have left when they left. We could see them crossing that big old cornfield.
Yeah, we had a gobbler come out, and we had a decoy, and he come out, and he ain't nobody around. I mean, and we've been in there for an hour. I mean, we're tucked in, and he looked, seen that decoy, and all of a sudden he heads for the hills.
He's going
and we're
for the
like,
hills.
Well, we know he ain't seen us. Well, then I had two or three hens come out to my right, and man, they never checked.
And see,
up.
all the days before they've coming this way. They're coming towards us in the afternoon.
That's why we.
But when old tornadoes coming,
They were going to the hills.
They were going up in the hills.
Like how hilly.
And
they come out of that bottom whizzing or that
our
drainage.
phones were on silent.
Oh,
But let me tell you, when a weather alert goes off, that silent don't mean that we're sitting there, everything's quiet. We're seeing these birds. All of a sudden, we're like, what the heck? We're trying to grab our phones, and it's telling us take shelter immediately. Ain't wasn't no taking shelter. We was, like I say, we was like 1.9 miles from the truck. I mean, you can see it, but and walking in, we knew that these birds were traveling this pinch point every evening. So what do? It's 11 o'clock, hottest part of the day. Me and Anthony, we head across this cut field down the edge of it, smoking. It was like 96 degrees or something. It was scorching. And we made this long trek, drank all our water when we got there, and we just knew it was going to be the evening, and then that tornado come through, and we were like, God, we made it back.
Was that the evening we found out where the turkey was? I made a tactical error on our way up. I found the town we was going to stay in. I'd already kind of scouted out and where we was going to hunt some of this walk-in land. And there's one hotel in this town, had 8 rooms, just a little over, you know how you run in those little.
Yeah.
So we're in Arkansas going that way. And he said, you make us reservations? I said, I make no reservations. It's,
we'll find a spot.
Yeah, but there's nobody there. There's like 400 people live in this town.
It's a cornfield.
And he goes, well, I'm going to go ahead and call. We're still 9 hours from there or whatever,
Planning ahead.
I hear him. Yes, ma'am, we'd like to make a reservation. Oh, really?
I got laughed off the phone.
Yeah. Is there any? Okay. All right. And he looked at me. He said, ain't no rooms. I said, what? Car show in town.
She said, don't you know this is our annual car show, sir? And I said, no, ma'am. I'm not from there. We're coming up to hunt or whatever. But it worked out. It worked out.
We found a guy who ended up having a little farm. We didn't know, but he had his grandpa's old farmhouse, and he Airbnb'd it to deer hunters and turkey hunters. And he come in. I told him wrong. We was actually going to stay one extra night. And he said, well, I'll just meet you there and, collect the money. I said, okay. So he's like, y'all seen anything? And, well, we had seen something, but as a normal turkey hunter, it's like, no, we ain't even cut a track. We can't do nothing.
Hadn't heard a gobble.
Hoping he might have a little, intel. And he goes, well, my wife, she cleans this house up when people leave, and she sees turkeys out here all the time. I'm thinking, man, we was right on a little Y of a road, and he said, I own everything on this side of the road for a mile. Y'all are welcome to hunt it if you want to. Well, he couldn't leave fast enough. His taillights hadn't even made the turn, and we're headed down the road. It's getting dark, and we roosted the turkey that evening, and I killed it the next morning. I mean, there was more than one in there. But
we could.
That worked good.
Yeah, I hooted, and the bird gobbled. We eased on down the road. We hooted again, he gobbled. Well, then we just went on up because we could tell the road was going kind of uphill there.
Yeah.
We got up on the very top, turned around, come back, and Anthony stopped again. I get out and hoot. And he said,
there he is.
Right there he is. We get the binoculars. We see him. I'll hoot, and you can just sit there and watch him gobble from the tree. I'm like, now that's what I'm talking about. We had a great plan. Cody about messed the deal up, and a skunk.
Lots of skunks.
That dang skunk, we were real close to having to abort, and run. But, and he does some, he's got.
Oh, he does deer hunts too.
Yeah, he does deer hunts, and.
Not on that place. He leases land.
Yeah, he works for a bunch of farmers or something, got some kind of deal going, and he's got their land leased, and I think that house asleep. They got it set up. It'll sleep like maybe eight or
at
so.
least 8.
And so he said, I have a group come in and they may hunt that public ground that we hunted or whatever, but they'll rent his place. And it's neat. We found some strikers and stuff that people had left and just neat little stuff like that. But he was a good guy, and he told us anytime we wanted to come back.
But you can rent his house and hunt these pieces of property. He said, now you might not kill that 160, but if you'll listen to what I'm telling you and go hunt, you'll kill a nice deer.
And his hunts were reasonable.
Real reasonable.
It was something like if you rented the house, I don't know, something like $250 a day or $300 a day to hunt this private ground.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And I don't know why we
talked
he's
about
a year out. He's a year out. I mean, if I called him now, you might not have it next year.
We talked about getting a group together because, I mean, there's always guys that, well, like his brother and Jamie and some guys that they're not going to turn loose of any big money.
Yeah.
But something like that,
Yeah,
man,
they can afford that.
Yeah. You go up there, hunt 3 or 4 days. I mean, you're not out a whole lot, and you've had a great time, and probably a chance at a deer you're never going to get a chance at anywhere else.
Well, I have some guys in Addison. Since we travel turkey hunting, they're always asking, well, where do they do deer hunts or whatever, And we'd like to go, but now we don't want to go in them high fence places. And I'm like, well, I mean, if you go to Texas, it's pretty much all high fence except the guy that owns a whole county that we hunted on his place. Now, they've got just monster deer, and they're nothing over, barbed wire heights. I mean, he just. Nobody hunts it. 6,600, 6,800 acres, one spot. I mean, he's like a big part of that.
Oh, you drive around blacktail deer running around.
Yeah, just exotics that's, been spread out through Texas.
I've never hunted Texas.
Really?
Never hunted Texas.
Oh. Man, you need to go turkey hunt Texas. I want to go to where Cuz always advertising to bow hunt out there. Where
his name's Mike. He some of the is it bush property? No. Yeah, some big trophy land. It's what is that? It's a do-it-yourself hunt,
and it's supposed to be super affordable and some really nice deer.
So that's like $300 a day.
Yeah.
So I mean, my cousin goes out there and turkey hunts. But I'm sure I don't get. I pay like everybody else. Yeah, okay, whatever. You paid when you mentioned his place because you booked him. Because I don't know if he booked. I don't know if they book turkey hunts out there. We were to find out.
Sure, I definitely want to go back and turkey hunt Texas.
Texas is a fun place.
I don't know something about them Rios. Man, they gobble funny. Like the first time me and him was in Texas and one gobbled, I was like, "Was that a Jake?" I mean, it's just weird sounding, But I mean, I would if there was a group that wanted to go to Texas and deer hunt. I mean, I'd be down to go do that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna do a lot in a couple of years.
Yeah, I'm gonna be in trouble once he retires because I'm gonna
go up there and I might get me a part-time job sitting in saddles. I don't know.
Hey, I tell you what, I would like to do some out or some guiding again one of these days if I'm able to. I enjoyed that when we had that outfitting business. It was a lot of fun just meeting people and stuff. Mm-hmm.
That would be fun. I know Chad Alexander, he does that guiding on Smith Lake.
Yeah.
Crappie guiding. And he said that's fun. He said he enjoys that.
He crappie guides up here?
Yep.
Yeah, he's on.
Man, that's hard to
find.
On the crappie's probably one of the hardest fish to fish for in this lake.
He's good. God, he's good.
Yeah, he's on the meeting too page now. I seen it the other day. He started following us. So we need to get him on here sometime.
Oh, he'd love it.
Definitely.
He'd do it.
Chad's a good dude.
Yep. He uses that as a ministry. A lot of people don't know it, but that's what he. If you book with him, you're gonna hear about the Lord.
You're gonna get a sermon while you're out there.
He just tells his story because he about died 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
He had like a 5% chance of living, and Lord pulled him through. But it's pretty neat what he does.
And he ain't always been the person he is now.
No,
you know, I mean, he don't care to tell you.
So, but he's good on crappie on Smith Lake, sure enough.
I know they're hard to catch. I mean, I can see them right out here. The house on the end out here's got a lot. Now, if that's where you want crappie fish.
Yeah.
Because it's probably 80, 90 feet right out there. It ain't 20 foot right here right now.
Yep.
But even in summer, I'll go out there and you can just see them, dozens of them. I can't get them to hit nothing. I've throwed everything I can throw at them. Might get them to hit a little monkey milk, something
Yeah, a
here and
little Bobby
there.
Garland.
I've tried live bait, 2 pound test line, free line. I've done it all, and I just don't know how to do it. Other than get me a stick of dynamite or one of them crank things and maybe just float them
Shock
up.
'em
I don't
up.
know. Yeah.
Book a trip with Chad. He'll show you.
Are y'all still tournament fishing some?
No, my partner, Kyle, he won't let me put a bass rod in the boat right now. He's all crappie.
He's went all crap.
When he gets crappie, he's like, no, we ain't taking any bass rods. And he can just be like that. He can be a butt sometimes.
Well, you know, I talked to Timmy Dollar here a while back, and I hadn't seen Tim in a while. I didn't know he'd went all in on the crappie fishing.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
wide open, and he hasn't fished in a good many years.
Yeah, he started. I knew
I
that.
bet you he's got a live scope.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, well, that turned a lot of people on the fishing.
I would have one if I was going to crappie fish.
I enjoy that bass fishing. I just like the tournaments. I like getting in them little tournaments.
You know, I say it's cheap fun, but time you fill that boat up with gas, now it gets expensive if you do more than 1 or 2 a week.
Well, see, I can't complain because we use his boat. I don't have a boat, so I can't complain
That's
too
the way to
much.
do it.
So I just have to go along on the ride.
Oh, I tell you, somebody that if you ever buy a boat, you don't want to go with, and that's Stetton Hayes. I swear, everybody he goes with has some kind of major issue. The motor fell off. Stetton be like, our motor fell off. I'm like, what do you mean? This is a bass boat. How'd the motor fall? I don't know. They'll come in soaked. They fell over the side of the boat. I get tickled.
One last story before we go.
Tell us, yeah.
Kyle on Smith Lake here was in a tournament. It was one of these Wednesday night or Friday nighters. I forget what it was. During the summer, about 6 pounds, 7 is all it's taking to win it. 12, 15 boats. Was going by this one dock, and I was wanting to fish it. It's like, no, they ain't no fish on that lot. And I was like, Kyle, we ain't never fished it. Well, Wiggins, Jesse and Jordy. Well, Jesse and Jordy said, there ain't no fish on that bank over there. And I was like, all right. So we went on by. I was driving. We started coming back by. I said, we're going over to that light. It just something was pulling me to that one light over there. So we get over there, and he's throwing. He's mad because I stopped. He's, one more cast, we're leaving. One more cast. And I thought, all right. So he throws up there. He sticks something. I'm hung. He thinks he's hung. I got to looking at his rod and said, Kyle, you ain't hung. Look at the end of your rod. It's moving. And sure enough, he was like, that is a fish. He said, that's a catfish or a carp. He said, I'm just going to break it. And I said, no, don't break that. I said, don't break it. It may be a bass. He said, it ain't no bass. So he's pulling, tugging. He's trying to break it, I think. And finally, he gets up. I got my light because it's night. I said, that's a bass. He's like, that's a carp. I said, Kyle, that's a bass. Don't rush it. We get him. It's a 9 pound, 8 ounce large man.
I remember seeing the
crap.
picture of it. It was
9
stoked.
pound. We're high fiving, because one fish gonna win tournament. We're high fiving. Then we look back there because it's in deep water. It's flipped upside down. It's gonna die on us now. So we're thinking, what do we do? So we called Jesse Wiggins. We called his cousin Jesse. We was like, what do you do? He said, take a needle and stick it with a needle. We was like, why would we have a needle in the boat? We was like, we was new at fishing. We're like, why would we have a needle? And it's like, well, we got some weights on it, and it ended up working, and he stayed alive. But man, we was high fiving. Then we was like, oh no, it's gonna die. We got to get it back. But
Y'all were about to do big fish and win the tournament.
Oh, yeah.
And get them both.
oh yeah,
We
did.
done. We want to weigh in now.
Yeah,
Yes.
it was funny. But he didn't want to fish that spot. He'll tell you.
He hadn't forgot where that spot say it has.
He went in, he still went in and fish it. Well, I'm like, let's go fish that. No. He's stubborn. God, he's so stubborn.
Well, what?
But he can cook. I'll say that on about every Saturday. I don't know if you see the pictures. We eat right anyways.
Yeah.
On football. Do what?
I was going to say, what have we missed anything on
No.
hunter safety
No,
we
we're
need
good.
to know about? We've
No.
heard about the big new saddles coming out.
Saddles.
Get a lifeline.
And this, I don't think we
Stay
got to
safe.
say, you got to get them from this website. You can get a hunter safety system anywhere.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Any retail store, just wherever you want to. Bass Pro, Cabela's, Just about any store across the country.
Sounds like Amazon.
And it's a whole lot cheaper than a helicopter ride.
You better
Yes.
believe it.
We've established
Or ride in a hearse.
Yeah.
Yep. Just make it back safety, fam. That's the main thing.
That's the main thing.
Deer's not worth it. Stay safe. And like I said, I always say, if you ain't wearing ours, wear somebody's.
Somebody.
I prefer ours, but if not, wear somebody's.
Well,
That's what it's all about, getting home.
getting home.
Getting
That's
home.
right.
Well, what about you? You got something? I know we're getting pretty
We're gonna
late.
have
You
to-
got another 40-minute ride.
We're going to have to
home.
get Joe back maybe after turkey season. Talk about turkey hunting with him. See what he done for
We'll
the
do
season.
that now.
Or
Yeah.
deer. If we can get something together, deer, and it's just
I love deer hunt, but I get excited
Oh, no,
about turkey
yeah.
hunt.
I just deer hunt. I deer hunt waiting
I
on
get
spring.
excited about turkey hunt.
I get excited on the deer hunt side when Grace wants to go because I love to see a kid smack one and get
If she
excited.
just shoot a doe.
Yeah.
She won't. And I told her, I said, well, I guess I'll take my crossbow Saturday and you can take your rifle. I said, because when them big nannies walk out, I've got to thin some out. We say we're going to every year. We haven't done it because we're always gone. We're home this year, and guess what? I've been to the woods one time.
Get out there and get you some.
We're going. We're going to. But I'm glad you could be here. I
Boy,
know
I
it was
appreciate it.
Man, I have had a good time tonight.
because once you start shows, it'll you'll be a busy man.
Yep.
We won't see you for a while.
Yep.
Probably Birmingham. That'd be the
No.
next.
I mean, shoot.
You'll be in Nashville convention, won't you?
No.
No?
I've got dealer shows that we got an NBS and Sports Link show that sort of,
Oh yeah.
I ain't got time
Can't
to
work
get
it
back.
out.
They need to work that out.
I'll be in Phoenix or Fort Worth.
Yeah, they need to change them dates a little
I know,
bit. I mean,
I
how do you
know.
miss NWTF?
All my buddies are there.
Yeah, I know we're gonna be there.
That's a heck of a show, boys.
We're gonna be there the whole week.
Yeah, we're leaving Wednesday. Is that right? Or Tuesday?
Tuesday. We're going up Tuesday night.
We're gonna let the wives come on
They're
later
gonna
that
come.
way,
They're gonna come Thursday night.
or Friday, or whenever they get
Whenever
ready.
they get ready, they don't even have to go if they
Hey,
want to.
it's amazing the people they put through that show.
Oh my God! Last year it
It's
was
unreal.
They had 70,000 people there
Yeah.
last year,
Great show. Great show.
and everybody that somebody's there in the turkey world. Really,
Yeah, you don't know who you're gonna bump into.
Oh, no.
You might open the door and it be anybody or whatever. You know.
Well, all right. I guess we need to wrap this thing up.
Yep,
All right, boys. I appreciate
Hey.
y'all letting me come.
I appreciate you being here.
we're gonna do it again.
Oh, yeah.
He known you, but the first time I got to
Oh,
meet
yeah.
you, so it won't be the last time.
That's
Well,
right.
I've tried to introduce y'all to deer show, but
Well, I
there's always
mean-
too much going
Well, I
on.
know. I mean, we've
Busy.
We've seen each other. I see him right there in that aisle. I know right where he's at. Yeah.
Yeah.
For about 10 years.
I know when I turn the corner who I'm about to see. Anyway, I'm about to see a friendly face that I know.
Well, all right. You got anything else you want to say? I'm not going to beg tonight for no more pro staff, Maltzy Oak or Apex. Maybe even
Foxtrot,
Foxtrot, whoever. We're
Rogue.
Rogue. Hunter Safety System. All right. But anyway, we'll get out of here. We'll see y'all next week.
Appreciate it.